85 in the third innings. Frank Viola.
And the lineup for the Pittsburgh Pirates. In left field, leading off, Barry Bonds. Barry, you'll remember, hit 5th the other day on opening day. Jay Bell, the shortstop, batting second, followed by Gary Reedus, who will play first base against left-handed pitching for the Pirates. Bobby Bonilla, the switch-hitting right fielder, batting fourth, followed by young Jeff King at third base, hitting fifth. Batting sixth, the hero of opening day for the Pirates, Andy Van Slyke, the center fielder. Tom Prince, the catcher, hitting seventh. Jose Leaned at second base, batting eighth. And on the mound and batting ninth, John Smiley.
And the defense for the Mets, it'll be Mike Marshall at first base, Gregg Jefferies playing second base, Kevin Elster at shortstop, Howard Johnson playing third. Kevin McReynolds in left field, Keith Miller in center field, Darryl Strawberry in right field. The catcher will be Barry Lyons. Pirates winning the first game of this three-game series. The umpires for the second game, Jerry Davis behind home plate. Paul Runge will be the umpire at first. Jerry Lane, the umpire at second base, and Bob Engel, the umpire at third. It'll be Barry Bonds to lead it off. As Tim pointed out, he batted fifth in the opening day ball game. He has 19 leadoff home runs. Not near the record. His daddy at one time held that record with 35. It is now held by Ricky Henderson, who has 36. Barry Bonds at 248 last year, and the first pitch by Viola grounded softly to Jefferies at second base. So one pitch and one away. That'll bring up Jay Bell. Bell, a good day yesterday, 3 for 6. Bonds was 1 for 3 in the opening day game, not yesterday, day before yesterday. Bell hit 258 last year with 2 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Got off to a horrendous start last year for the Pirates as their opening day shortstop. Went 1 for 20 and was sent out to Buffalo, their top farm club, and then came back later on in the year. Never forget a 3-base hit he hit off of Randy Myers that beat Myers a ball game in that season last year. One ball, one strike to count. And this one hit in the air to right center field. Over there is Keith Miller, and he makes the play. Yesterday, Keith had trouble on a fly ball hit by Wally Backman that dropped in for a 3-base hit. Should have been caught. So he did not have an auspicious start in that opening day game. Now Gary Reedus, the batter. Gary batting third, and he'll be making his first appearance of the year. Lifetime batting average at 250 last year. Good year for the Pirates at 283. He was beaten by Tim Cruz in the middle of the season last year, but came back to finish up strongly. He has outstanding speed, and the first pitch by Viola called strike. Reedus got off to a great start. He hit 462 in his first minor league year, second highest batting average ever in the minor leagues. The highest, 477, by a fellow named Malmquist.
There's the first changeup of the ball game thrown by Frankie. Frank told me this spring that you didn't see the real Frank Viola pitch last year. Tough competitor. Frank Viola, the Cy Young Award winner 2 years ago in the American League.
And this pitch is popped up down the right field side out of play. Viola with a lifetime record of 117 wins, 98 losses. He has pitched 56 complete games, 11 of them shutouts.
Last year, in the middle of the year, when he was traded for 4 pitchers, Rick Aguilera, Tim Drummond, Kevin Tapani, and David West, going to Minnesota, he came over and threw mostly changeups, but he is throwing a lot of fastballs today, and I think you'll see him establish that fastball.
And there's the off-speed pitch, and it's popped up and playable. Barry Lyons makes the catch, and the Pirates go quietly in their first chance. The score at the end of 1/2 inning, Pittsburgh nothing. The Mets coming up, and now here's a word from R.C. Cola. He had a run average of 2.81. He walked only 49, struck out 123, gave up 174 hits and 205 in the third innings.
In the opener, I said a 2.21 ERA. He was 7th best with a 2.81 last year.
So Smiley starts off as he works to Gregg Jefferies and picks up a quick strike. Jefferies 0 for 4 in the opening day game, and he takes a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Jefferies hit .211 in spring training. This ball hit hard to left field, way back. It is going. It is gone. Goodbye. Gregg Jefferies with a home run, and the Mets lead it by a score of 1-0. Well, John Smiley giving up the home run. The Mets off to a quick start. He gave up 22 home runs last year. He was 3rd in the National League in that department. And the first pitch to Keith Miller, taken high for ball 1. Browning of the Cincinnati Reds gave up 31 home runs last season. Mike Scott of Houston Astros gave up 23, and then John Smiley with 22. So the first batter that he faced, a home run.
This is the 3rd Met of the season. Here we are, not even really into the 2nd game, whose first hit of the year was a home run. Howard Johnson on Monday, Barry Lyons on Monday, and now Gregg Jefferies. 12 last year, his first one of this year. You remember last September, he had such a good September, leading the major leagues in home runs with 8. Actually, I think tied with Mark McGwire of the Oakland Athletics.
I think you're right. Mets had only 3 hits yesterday, and 2 of them home runs. Howard Johnson, a home run in his first game of the season for the 2nd straight year. Now they count at 3-1 to Keith Miller. Miller 0 for 3 in the opening day game. And a strike call. Full count to Keith Miller. And it's hit hard and a fair ball down the left field line. It'll be extra bases. Miller goes into second base standing up. So a home run and a double to start off the game.
We'll give you the rest of the lineup. Howard Johnson, the 3rd baseman, batting 3rd, followed by Darryl Strawberry. Kevin McReynolds hitting 5th. First baseman Mike Marshall batting 6th. Barry Lyons behind the plate hitting 7th. Kevin Elster, the shortstop, batting 8th. And on the mound, Frank Viola batting 9th. That ball looked like it went over the bag and landed in foul territory. But as you know, folks, when the ball goes over the bag, it's a fair ball. It can land 2 feet foul.
So the call made by Bob Engel as a fair ball, a 2-base hit, and Howard Johnson, the batter. And this ball hit hard, but taken by King on the first hop. He holds the runner at second, picks up the out at first. So 3 hard-hit balls, one of them turned into an out. The defense for Pittsburgh, Reedus at first, leaned at second base, Bell at short, King at 3rd. Barnes, Van Slyke, and Phenia in the outfield. And the catcher is Prince. Now it's Darryl Strawberry's turn. Darryl hitless in the opening day game, 0 for 3, was hit by a pitch ball to reach once. And he takes a fastball for ball 1.
It's kind of a regal defense that you just read out, Ralphie. They got a King at 3rd base and a Prince behind the plate.
That certainly rings a bell, doesn't it? Who's that shortstop?
Pittsburgh royalty, huh?
Well, you could say Van Slyke is kind of a royalty type name, too.
Yeah, that's got a Dutch royalty ring to it,
And then there's Bonds in left field. All we need is a Stock. Milt Stock was the coach for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Strawberry down the left field line, but it's curving foul. Mets leading 1-0 on the leadoff home run by Gregg Jefferies. Jefferies' 19th career home run. As you look at Jim Leyland, the manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Had a tough year last year. They got off to a terrible start. And a strike call.
Too many injuries last year for Jim Leyland and the Pirates, but you'll never hear Leyland refer to them or complain. He was a catcher as a player. 5 of the personnel on the field, 5 of the 7 for the Pirates, former catchers.
And the fastball fouled away. The count will stay. Classy man, Jim Leyland.
A good manager. Speaking of good managers, on cue.
Davey Johnson, best one-loss record in the major leagues over the last 6 years. His 6 years in the major leagues. 2-2 the count to Strawberry. And that pitch is foul tips, so Strawberry stays alive. Mets against the Cardinals. The Cardinals won at 11-4.
Larry Jackson, the winning pitcher. Roger Craig, the loser.
Who was the catcher?
Hobie Landreth.
Base hit to left field. Miller will score, and the Mets lead it by a score of 2-0 as Strawberry gets his first run batted in.
I tell you, sometimes as a base runner, you block an infielder, and I think Jay Bell was blocked out by Keith Miller. Bell broke towards second, 1 step towards second, and then back toward third, and by that time the ball was by him, and Miller scores easily. That ball really smoked to left field, but Jay Bell had broken towards second base, and I believe he was blocked out by the base runner, Keith Miller. John Smiley had bone chips removed from his left elbow on October 2nd of last year, and there is a lot of concern in the Pirate camp about Smiley. He had a terrible spring, an ERA of over 5, 0-1 record. And Jim Leyland told me before the game that he is really going to keep an eye out on John Smiley. The Mets have only beaten him 1 time, and that was that 1-0 game when Kevin Elster hit the home run a couple of years ago.
That's right, and it knocked Pittsburgh out of a chance for first place, and Bob Ojeda was a winning pitcher in that game. That was a big win for the Mets. There goes Strawberry, and he'll have it. Ball bounces away. Strawberry has an idea about going over and stops. So he holds at second base, and the Mets have a runner at second on Strawberry's first stolen base.
Had Darrell gone immediately to third, he makes it easily. But I think the ball hit Darrell in the wrist, and for that reason, he was more concerned with his wrist than he should be. Let's see if it pops him in the wrist. Yeah, it hit him right in the left hand, and then he's concerned with the hand, and now by the time he recoups, it's too late to get to third.
Strawberry gets his 177th stolen base in his major league career. That is now into the 8th year. And the Mets have a runner in scoring position, leading 2-0 with 1 out here in the bottom half of the first. And a strike call to Kevin McReynolds. The count 1-2. Kevin 1 for 3 in the opening day game, hit .272 last year with 22 home runs, 85 RBIs. And it's in the dirt, blocked nicely by Tom Prince, the catcher for the Pirates. Don Slott would have started this game behind the plate, except that he has a pulled groin muscle. Prince normally would not be with the ball club, with Lavalier and Slott as the number 1 and 2 catchers.
You got the 27-man roster no longer in effect come May 1st.
2-2 pitch, hit hard, a base hit. Strawberry rounding third. It's going to be a close play at home, and the throw is in time. Strawberry doesn't get to the bag, and is thrown out as Barry Bonds picks up the assist. And McReynolds goes down to second on the play at the plate.
Good base running by McReynolds and a good throw by Barry Bonds. Buddy Harrelson taking a chance that you can well understand if it's a tie ball game or something like that. I don't think you take this chance. But Bonds just with an excellent throw after charging the ball very aggressively. A nice tag by Prince.
Bonds was second in assists in the National League as an outfielder last year with 14.
And the reason he threw him out is not as much the throw as the way he charged the ball. Excellent play by Bonds and Prince.
And this one hit out to deep left field. Bonds over in the corner, and he makes the catch in foul territory. That will end the inning, but the Mets get 2 on 3 hits. They leave 1 in scoring position. The score at the end of 1, the Mets 2 and the Pirates nothing. Now here's a word from AT&T. Here is 1 run they didn't get.
That's one unusual thing. Look at the hat and the cap of Tom Prince, the catcher. He turned it around. Obviously, catchers wear their cap of the bill in the back, but Prince had the wherewithal to turn it around. For what reason, I don't know. He probably did it unconsciously.
I never have seen that.
No, that's kind of unusual.
Where'd he find the time to do that? Because the catcher has that hat turned backwards, the opposite as the other players all wear their baseball hats with the bill extended in front.
I'll tell you, if I got Darryl Strawberry 6'6", 220 bearing down on me, I'm not going to worry about my cap.
Little looper to right field. Strawberry coming, then he makes the play as Phenia flies out to right. Phenia, a big day yesterday. 3 for 6 with a home run, a monstrous home run. I should day before yesterday, Monday. Home run that went over the back wall of the bullpen in right field. So Phenia out here on a fly ball to right, and that'll bring up Jeff King. King 0 for 2 opening day. And then he takes a breaking ball for a strike. Frank Viola on the mound for the Mets. King had 42 hits last year, 21 for extra bases. Half of his hits were extra base hits. Got his first hit against the Mets in his major league career, and also his first home run against the Mets in his major league career, both off Rick Aguilera. And a fastball for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Pirates have 2 young players in their lineup today with firsts against the Mets. You mentioned Jeff King. Tom Prince also his first home run off Bobby Ojeda, first major league hit.
Fly ball to right center. Keith Miller is there. 2 men away. And Viola now has retired his first 5 batters and will take on Andy Van Slyke, who had 2 home runs opening day. Became the 4th Pirate to ever do that. 2 home runs in an opening day game. Richie Hebner, Willie Stargell.
Willie Stargell, the last to do it.
Dale Long.
Dale Long did it in 1955. Hebner in 74 and Stargell in 75.
And the fastball for a strike. And Slyke 3 for 6 opening day. 4 runs batted in. That ties his high for any one game. 1-1 the count. Van Slyke had only 1 home run off a left-hand pitcher last year, and that was off Bob Ojeda. He had 9 for the season. Good pitch. Way out in front.
Frank Viola, one of the few left-handers who will throw change-ups against left-handed hitters. Of course, this one a curveball right here, and really had Van Slyke tied in knots.
Got him with that off-speed pitch, and another 1-2-3 inning for Viola as he picks up his first strikeout. And the score at the end of 1.5 innings, the Mets 2, the Pirates nothing. Here's a word from Manufacturers Handover. The Mets, he had a home run in his first at-bat opening day game. His 8th home run in his major league career, and he fouls off the first pitch. Mets leading by a score of 2-0 as they broke for 2 in the first. A home run by Gregg Jefferies leading off, a double by Miller. Miller driven in by Darryl Strawberry with a single. Lions hit 247 last year, and this ball into right center field. And Slyke is there, and also Phenia, and he makes the catch. Phenia makes the catch. Phenia started his career in the outfield, played third base for the Pirates. Made a ton of errors at third base, 35 one year and 32 the other. 67 errors in his last 2 years, so they put him back in right field.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Bonilla has such offensive prowess, and you want to break in your young third baseman. So with Bobby having a tough time fielding at third, it makes sense to move him to right and break in Jeff King, who you want to break in anyway at third base.
Now the batter, Kevin Elster, and Elster with that home run against John Smiley, beating Smiley. The only time the Mets have ever beat him, 1-0. Bob Ojeda was the winning pitcher in that game. Elster 0 for 3 opening day.
Swing here.
3-0.
With the pitcher on deck, one out, nobody out, nobody on.
Gotta let him swing. I'd let him swing.
I'd let him hack.
Let him go for the fastball. He got it. That's ball 4. He was not swinging. So now Viola batting in a position of sacrifice. He did have a base hit, his first in the National League against Hershiser. When he beat Hershiser, the only time 2 Cy Young Award winners ever matched up the year after they won the Cy Young Award. And the bunt attempt foul.
It's funny, all that Cy Young, the flurry of Cy Young activity, this really the last year. I mean, the Mets with 2 Cy Young Award winners on the team, Gooden in '85, Viola in '88. Hershiser and Viola going against each other, and now with Kansas City signing Mark Davis as their short reliever, you have for the first time 2 Cy Young Award winners of the previous season on the same team.
And that bunt is a good enough bunt to get the runner down to second. Elster going there, and Viola thrown out by Tom Prince as Lean takes the throw.
Prince had an idea about going to second, but Elster with a good jump from first. And Tom changes his mind. You've got to be sure in this situation, especially with 1 out. Now it's 2 outs, and for the most part, a base hit's got to score the runner.
And the batter for the Mets will be Gregg Jefferies, who homered his first time up. And a strikeout.
Pretty good for Kansas City, though, huh? Brett Saberhagen, the starter, of course, and Mark Davis, the closer, both Cy Young Award winners last year. Davis in the National League, Saberhagen in the American League.
And, of course, that came about because of the free agency rule that has been in effect for quite some time now.
Yeah, think about it. It would never happen unless it were an age of free agency. No way a team's going to trade their Cy Young Award winner. So before 1976, you can understand it, and maybe this will happen again to teams to have 2 of the previous year's Cy Young Award winners. Maybe this is the beginning of something big. Who knows?
There is Doc Gooden, who won that Cy Young Award back in 1985, 24-4 that year. And a ball called, 2-2. Gooden, the youngest pitcher to ever pitch on opening day. And he lost for the first time opening day here at Shea to the Pirates 2 days ago. And this ball hit out to left field. Vaughn's having trouble with the sun. He gets it out of there for the final out of the inning. So the walk of the man left, the score at the end of 2. The Pirates trailing 2-0 to the New York Mets. Now here's a word from Keith Miller, getting some extra equipment. Now gets out to center field. We're about ready to go here in the top of the 3rd. The Mets leading 2-0. And Tom Prince bloops it into right center field, and that'll be the first hit of the ball game for the Pirates. A little bloop hit by Tom Prince, who batted .135 for the Pirates in 21 games last year.
Number 13, second baseman Jose.
His first hit of this season. That brings up Jose Lean. Lean 3 for 5 opening day. 2 runs batted in. Mets 2 runs on 4 hits. The Pirates now with no runs on their first base hit.
One of the reasons that Jim Leland and the Pirates picked up Wally Backman was to spell lean. He played 153 games. He is not a big man and needs a rest.
Runner goes. The pitch is taken, and the throw to second is taken by Elster, and he makes the quick tag after a fine pickup, and Prince is out. And you have to believe that there was a hit-and-run play missed there.
Somebody missed something. Either Prince thought it was a hit-and-run or missed the hit-and-run. The Pirates down by 2 runs, and the catcher thrown out on the first pitch after being the first base runner. Tell you, those little small things like that, talk about the home run and all the glamour things, those little bitty things cost you as many ball games as the big things. It's a game of small things, baseball is. You do the routine things well, and you'll be a lot better off.
Prince has never had a stolen base in his abbreviated major league career, so they must have had a mess up on the hit-and-run play there. Foul ball on the count, 1-2 to Jose Lean. How about that? Did you see where the chill factor yesterday in Chicago was 0?
26-mile-an-hour wind, 35 degrees, and the Yankees may be snowed out this evening. 70% chance of snow in Cleveland.
And this ball hit by Elster, the shortstop, for another base hit. So Lean makes the big turn and holds and picks up a single. His 4th hit so far this year. That'll bring up John Smiley.
So now Smiley will be bunting to get Leaned at second. And if the sacrifice is successful, you got a man on second and 2 outs. Had King not been running, then you got men on second and third, 1 out, the tying run in scoring position. That's how important King going on the RBI or the hit and run. That's how important that was. One of them missed a sign.
Big point. Smiley 138 last year. Squares and bunts it right back to Viola, who bobbles it. He still has time for a play. He gets a man at first as Jefferies takes his throw. And Lean moves into scoring position. Might have been a good thing he bobbled that ball because he was thinking about second.
Yeah, you don't want to think about second when you've got a 2-run lead. If they're bunting right here, it still takes a hit to score him. Frankie hurrying that throw a little bit. A little tougher for a left-handed pitcher to make that play because he's got to pivot and then throw to the second baseman cover.
So the Pirates had their first runner in scoring position. The Mets lead 2-0. And the batter's Barry Bonds, who grounded out his first time up on his first pitch. And a strike call. Bonds hit better against left-hand pitching last year than he did against right-hand pitching, 264 to 241.
Most unusual for a left-handed hitter.
And this one popped up. Keith Miller in center field has the play, and he puts it away. That ends the inning. 2 hits, 1 left in scoring position. The score at the end of 2.5 innings. The Mets 2, the Pirates nothing. Now here's a word from your Cadillac dealers. 1 ball, no strikes. The count to the leadoff batter for the Mets, Keith Miller, and Miller takes for ball 2. Miller doubled right over the bag at third his first time up. Later on scored on Strawberry's single after Gregg Jefferies had led off the ball game for the Mets with a home run. They lead 2-0 on 4 hits. And a ball call for ball 3. Miller's double was his first hit of this season, and he takes a strike, 3-1. Again, it's pulled down the left field side. This time it's foul. They count 3-2. Wally Backman, former New York Mets player and not playing today, had a good opening day. Wally with 2 hits opening day, and this ball hit to center field. Van Slank, an outstanding center fielder. Makes it look easy. So 1 away as Miller flies out, and that'll bring up Howard Johnson. Might be the best center fielder in the National League.
Won his second Gold Glove last year, and he was hurt for most of the year. That gives you an idea about how well he plays defense. If he can win a Gold Glove being hurt, what can he do when he's healthy?
John Smiley working to Howard Johnson, got Howard to ground out his first time up. Howard checks, but he went too far, and it's a strike call by home plate umpire Jerry Davis.
Howard Johnson, lifetime, 10 strikeouts against Smiley, 2 for 25. He has not fared well against John Smiley.
One and one. Smiley has a history of being very good early in the year and just about average after that.
If that, yeah.
And a ball call, 2-1. His career before the All-Star break, 19-9. He was 6-0 in June last year. 12-15 after the All-Star break. Nice view. And there is the off-speed pitch for a call. Strike 2 and 2.
The better view from in here in
yeah,
the stadium.
Except where you're sitting. You got a better heater going for you than anybody in the ballpark.
I do indeed.
Fly ball to shallow left. Barry Bonds, the left fielder. 2 men away.
John Smiley and Frank Viola pitching, both pitchers with good changeup, so I guess the heat's in the booth, right? I have a heater over my head up here in the booth.
For 2 hours you've been trying to get it turned off.
My hair's on fire, I think. I'm telling you.
Maybe we
call
could
the Upjohn people before long, right?
Maybe we can get somebody to pay attention to get this heater off. So it's really a nice day here at Shea. And tomorrow another game scheduled. It'll be Sid Fernandez against Neil Heaton, 2 left-handers going. This one hit off the end of the bat and on through into center field. Strawberry gets his second hit of the game. So Jim Leland watching as the Mets get their 5th base hit. And that puts a runner at first with 2 men out and brings up Kevin McReynolds. McReynolds singled with Strawberry on second after a stolen base. Strawberry was thrown out at the plate on a good play by Barry Bonds, the left fielder. So Smiley paying attention to Strawberry. Darryl last year really often stolen bases, but he did have a broken toe for a problem that kept him from running.
Matter of fact, Ralph, we were talking about this in spring training. We don't even remember Darryl trying to run after he had that little toe broken in late June, cutting his stolen base. His stolen bases down to 11 last year.
Fastball fouled away.
Some guys do different things with their money when they sign. Kevin McReynolds brought a duck club, the Double Deuce Duck Club in DeWitt, Arkansas over the winter. Big duck hunter. Down through that Arkansas flyway, Ralph.
Get those mallards coming through.
Yep.
Another throw to first. Mets leading 2-0. 2 men out, bottom half of the 3rd. Good changeup by John Smiley. Smiley's your kind of guy, isn't he? He enjoys hunting, karate, shooting pool, watching drag racing, and the beach.
Stable hobbies.
He's got a great changeup. And again, he goes to first.
Yeah, that's the only thing that counts is fastball, curveball, and change.
The other stuff doesn't help.
I'd look for Darrell to run right now. 0-2, 2 outs, good shot.
Doesn't go, and it's strike 3. So the strikeout ends the inning, the first for Smiley. Mets get 1 hit and leave 1, and the score at the end of 3, the Mets 2, the Pirates nothing. Now here's a word from Shell Gasoline. We go to the top of the 4th for the play-by-play. Tim McCarver, man who played in 4 different decades.
I don't know if Jeff Mitchell's trying to show the bell tower, but Jay Bell leads it off here in the top of the 4th. Those obviously the Twin Towers down in Wall Street or near Wall Street. 0-1 to Jay Bell. 2-0 Mets on top with 2 runs in the first inning. Changeup just misses away. 1-1.
Window on the world. Is that the way it's said? Windows of the world.
Windows on the world. You're like you're sitting on top of the world when you're up there too. Good fastball, and that's the one thing we've noticed about Viola today and all throughout spring training. Good velocity with his fastball. 1-2 to Jay Bell.
When he was traded, there was some talk about the fact he didn't have the good fastball after his Cy Young Award year, and that was why they wanted to move him.
Fastball again, a late break by Viola, and he has to tag Bell for the putout. Viola did a pirouette, and I'm not too sure he didn't hurt himself, pull a muscle or something. We'll see.
Well, he is smiling, so evidently he's all right. Marshall makes the play, makes a good feed. Viola can't get to the bag in time, so he has to make the tag. And he does.
So a good recovery by Viola. I tell you, left-handers have a much more difficult time covering first than right-handers. When a left-hander finishes up, it's toward the third baseline. When a right-hander completes his windup, he falls toward the first baseline, thereby allowing himself an easier chance to cover. Here's Reedus, and he takes ball 1. Reedus popped to Barry Lyons in the first inning. Another change. It's a ball and a strike to Gary Reedus.
Reedus last year hit for the cycle for the Pirates. It's an unusual feat. Looking at Bobby Bonilla, the on-deck batter. Most anybody ever hit for the cycle in a major league career 3 times. Babe Herman and Musial, not Stan Musial, but Musial.
Bob Musial of the 27 Yankees, the right fielder, I believe, on a team that many consider the best team ever.
They had 2 brothers that did play in the major leagues. One of them played for the Giants. And actually, one of them introduced Casey Stengel to Edna. And Casey later on married Edna.
Wait a minute.
That's very good.
Was it Bob? This one lined to left.
I wanted to play for the Giants because Casey was playing for the Giants at the time. Well, the Nissan National League scoreboard, it's Montreal 1, St. Louis nothing. That's the top of the 3rd. Philadelphia and Chicago, a snow delay. San Francisco against Atlanta later. Atlanta hasn't played a game yet. And Houston at home against Cincinnati, and San Diego at home against the Dodgers. Dodgers have had 2 wins, and both of them came as a result of 2 players they acquired.
Hubie Brooks and Juan Samuel, right. Bobby Bonilla now. Nice play by Marshall to prevent the ball from going into right field as Barry Lyons throwing from his knee, or from his knees, through that in-between hop, and Marshall makes a good play.
He sure made a good block here. If this ball gets by, it's a runner at 3rd. See where Strawberry is. Strawberry moving over to back up the play. Good job there. Everybody doing their part right there. Good block.
No balls and a strike to Bobby Bonilla. Outside, ball 1, 1-1. Hubie Brooks with a 3-run home run against Bruce Hurst the other night. And last night, Juan Samuel with a solo homer, the only scoring in that game. Tim Belcher with 8 shutouts last year. Threw his first shutout of the year for the Dodgers. They won 1-0. And the change is fouled away.
First pitcher to go a complete game this year.
Well, actually, Bruce Hurst had a complete game the other night. But
he won 8 innings.
He went 8 innings. So it was on the other side, the losing end. That losing end complete game. Padres losing 4-2. So So they've really had 2 back-to-back complete games, but I know that's kind of an unusual complete game when you're a loser and you only go 8 innings.
Let's revise that and say the first pitcher to go 9 innings this year.
Got him with the fastball. Two outs.
Second strikeout for Frank Viola. And he uses that good fastball and gets the outside corner. Last year, Viola pitched more innings than he's ever pitched in a single season and had more strikeouts. A total of 211 strikeouts and 261 innings.
Which technically led the National League, but he wasn't a National Leaguer all year. Jose De Leon with 201 strikeouts. Belcher was second with 200. Sid Fernandez third. But Viola finished the season with more strikeouts than any other National League pitcher, but because he divided his time between Minnesota and the Mets, it didn't count.
It was 8-12 with the Twins and 5-5 with the Mets.
Ball and no strikes to Jeff King. 2 outs, 1 on. 2-0 New York here in the top of the 4th. Ball 2 to Jeff King.
King had the lowest average in the major leagues with runners on base. Hit 134.
Of course, he was only up 62 times. Not as good a sample as if he were to play the whole season as he takes strike 1. 2 balls and a strike to the young Pirate third baseman, the first player selected in the Major League Draft in 1986.
What a spring he had.
It's the first player in the country selected. Good tools. Changeup grounded toward third, and Johnson over to Jefferies. So that does it for the Pirates. Still 2-0 Mets after 3.5, and we're back after this from Midas Muffler. 23,000 on hand. Mike Marshall will lead it off. The Mets with 2 in the first inning lead 2-0. Marshall looking for his first hit. He was 0 for 4 in Monday's game, and he flied to left his first time up. No balls and a strike to Mike Marshall. Inside, ball 1. 1-1 to Mike Marshall. Smiley gets in a little bit on Marshall, and Bonds retreats to the track and makes the play. 1 out. Barry Lyons coming up. Jeff King made the last out, and I guess it's only appropriate to tell you that this game is brought to you in part by Midas. For all your under-the-car needs, nobody beats Midas. Nobody. Not even King Midas. Ralphie?
I like that. There is Jeff King. All we need is a queen, and Mel Queen did pitch for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He had great stuff. He came to the Pirates and the Yankees.
Mel Queen was an outfielder-made pitcher.
That was his son.
The Pirates have an outfielder-made pitcher. Scott Ruskin, as a matter of fact, a young left-hander that they are very high on.
All he did in the opening day game was strike out Johnson and Strawberry and get McReynolds to fly to center. That was his debut in the major leagues.
1-1 to Barry Lyons with nobody out here in the 4th. Scott Ruskin,
at 355.
Interesting story. Yeah, a minor leaguer with good statistics as a hitter, but he wanted to be a pitcher. He asked the Pirates to send him to the instructional league. They did. They loved his curveball, and now here he is on the opening day roster, or in second game of the season. Grounder toward third. It's Jeff King. With that Midas touch, he throws out Lyons, and that'll bring up Kevin Elster.
Well, let's check out the American League Nissan scoreboard. Boston won Detroit 0. Bottom of the 5th inning. Chicago in Milwaukee postponed. Yankees are scheduled tonight against Cleveland for the second time. They were snowed out or rained out last night. Texas against Toronto. Baltimore against Kansas City. Minnesota against Oakland. Afternoon game. And Seattle against California.
Kevin Elster walked his first time up, and he takes ball 1. Did you see where the president threw out the first ball last night in Toronto? Prime Minister Brian Mulroney was there.
Very important show up, huh?
I understand the president threw a slider. He said he was going with his slider last night. 2-0 to Elster. President Bush and Prime Minister Mulroney. It gives you an idea of how popular baseball is and what a political vehicle it can be at times.
What they have their 45th consecutive sellout up there
at the Sky Dome.
Ballpark.
Dave Stieb bested Charlie Huff as Toronto beat Texas last night 2-1. Frank Viola on deck.
The president was an outstanding baseball player at Yale and went to the NCAA finals with that Yale ball club, was a first baseman.
Was the captain, but he told me that he couldn't hit a lick. Told me, his words, could not hit a lick.
He was a left-handed thrower and a right-handed hitter.
Yep. 3-1 to Elster. Good changeup. That was one of those corkscrew swings right there. It's 3-2 to Elster.
And a very good changeup. Elster on 3-1 looking fastball doesn't get it. That's a great pitch on 3-1 when you're geared for that fastball.
Outside corner gets Elster. And for the first time in this game, the Mets are down in order. After 4, it's still 2-0 New York, and we're back after this from AT&T. Day here at Shea Stadium, around 60 degrees, not much of a breeze, even though with the horseshoe shape of Shea Stadium, it can swirl around in center field. Keith Miller playing a ball into a triple on Monday, and this one fouled deep down the right field line. It's 0-1 to Andy Van Slyke, who struck out in the second inning. Nothing Mets here in the 5th. No balls, 2 strikes to Van Slyke.
Andy from Utica, New York. Waddy Herzog once told him that's as close as you'll ever get to the Hall of Fame. Utica about an hour away from Cooperstown.
That was before the trade, however.
That was before the trade when he was with the Cardinals. He's had 2 great years with Pittsburgh.
Got him with the fastball. Frank Viola razor sharp this afternoon, 1 away here in the 5th. 3rd strikeout for Frank.
Well, he was struck out on a change of pace his last time up, and now Viola goes the other way and gets him with the fastball. Pinpointed on that outside corner. Good pitch.
Tom Prince, the batter, he singled in the 3rd inning to open up the 3rd, and the biggest play in this game so far. On the first pitch to the next hitter, Jose leaned. King took off for second, or Prince took off for second, and he was an easy out, thrown out trying to steal. This one tapped toward short, and Elster throws out Prince.
Elster, who set a record for errorless games at shortstop, 88 consecutive errorless games. And Ryne Sandberg has just broken Joe Morgan's record for errorless games at second base.
Did he tie it, or
maybe he tied it?
I think he tied it at 91. If they play today and there are snow showers in Chicago, and I guess there's a big P flashed next to that game, Philadelphia-Chicago, we believe that game has been postponed. Ball and no strikes to Jose Lean, and he fouled it back 1-1. That's amazing, though, isn't it?
Due to snow.
91 consecutive games without an error. I think Morgan did it in 76 and 77. As a matter of fact, and here's a great story. Jose Lean last year, talking about Sandberg, made 4 errors at Wrigley Field in 9 games. That was 1 more than Ryne Sandberg made in 81 games. Sandberg made 3 errors last year. Lean 1 more there. Fly ball to left. And another easy inning for Frank Viola. After 4 1/2, Still 2-0 New York. We'll be back after this from Nissan.
Okay, Tim, and the first pitch to Frank Viola, grounded to the second base side. Lean has it. Smiley coming off the mound takes the throw for the out. So 1 pitch and 1 away as Frank Viola leads off here in the 5th inning. The Mets leading by a score of 2-0. We were talking about President Bush throwing out the first ball along with Prime Minister Brian Mulrooney. And we just got a note off the wire service. Bonita giving us this note that President Bush threw a ball 40 rows deep into the first deck at the Sky Dome on that opening night. 40 rows. He's got a good arm. Good bunt attempt by Jefferies, but cut off by King as he gets to it in a hurry and throws Jefferies out. So Jefferies, who led off the game with a home run to give the Mets a 1-0 lead, is out for the second time. He's now 1 for 3.
I'll tell you, think about how good a play this is, because Jefferies is hitting right-handed, of course, being a switch hitter, hitting right-handed. So Jeff King has to respect the ball hit by him. And for that reason, Jeff King showing very good quickness, getting to that ball and throwing out Jefferies rather easily. Good play.
So 2 quick outs, and the batter will be Keith Miller, who has scored the other run for the Mets. Doubled and scored on Strawberry's single when the Mets got 2 in the first on 4 hits. Mets have had only 1 hit since, a single by Strawberry, who's 2 for 2. And Miller rounds it foul, strike 2. That changeup again. Miller playing center field for the Mets. Had a rough day, opening day in center field. This one fouled back out of play, 1-2. Kramer and Patterson in the bullpen. Patterson, the left-hander. Make that Bruskin in the bullpen. Oh, we'll change it one more time. It's Wrestler in the bullpen as a ground ball goes to third again, and the throw to first base retired the Mets in order. 10 in a row for John Smiley, and the score at the end of 5 innings here at Shea. The Mets 2 and the Pirates. Pelosi will be the pinch hitter for the pitcher John Smiley as the Mets lead it by a score of 2-0 top of the 6th. And this is the way they matched up through the first 5 innings. Smiley 69 pitches, 24 balls, 45 strikes, 2 Ks. Viola 52 pitches. And a swing and a miss, 1-1.
Well, it makes sense. I'm sure Jim Leland thinking it makes sense both ways to get him out. The Pirates trying to win the game. And as we mentioned earlier, he was trying to watch John Smiley and having throw somewhere between 70, 75 pitches. So 69 pitches is right on target.
And the ball called, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Depending on how quickly Viola gets out of this inning, if he gets out of this inning, then I would imagine Davey Johnson and Mel Stottlemyre will think about pulling Viola after 6. If it's a quick inning, he'll probably start the 7th.
And a line drive to left field for a base hit. Cangelosi getting his first hit of the year. He was 0 for 1 opening day. And that brings up Barry Bonds.
Left fielder, Barry Bonds.
Last year, Cangelosi as a pinch hitter batted .176 with 12 hits, and he has his first as a pinch hitter this year. Bonds is 0 for 2, has grounded out and flied out. And the fastball fouled back. Mets leading 2-0. They have out-hit the Pirates 5-4.
Viola feeding Bonds a steady diet of fastballs. Barry went up there looking for it then and just missed that pitch.
Had a good cut at that. A strike call, strike 2. Pirates have been tough on the Mets here at Shea. They've won 3 in a row from the Mets, dating back to last year, and 6 of the last 7 that they played here at Shea.
And that's after, if you remember, the World Championship year, 1986, when the Mets beat the Pirates 17 of 18 times. All 9 at Shea Stadium. 9-0 here.
And the good curveball freezes Barry Bonds, and a strikeout for Viola.
Well, that is just masterful pitching. Great selection right here after all of those fastballs. Here comes Uncle Charlie, and that gets Barry, and he knows it.
So nice one away. The Big Apple. As you look at Jay Bell, that's not Jay Bell, but you will be looking at Jay Bell, who is 0 for 2. Jay Bell, not the first Bell to play for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Gus Bell played for the Pirates for many years. Of course, his son, Buddy. Great ball player.
Kind of a quiet retirement for Buddy Bell last year. A guy who had as good a career as he had. He just bowed out so gracefully and quietly, retiring from the Texas Rangers.
Gus Bell and Buddy Bell had a combined total of 407 home runs, father-son combination, but that's second to Bobby Bonds and Barry Bonds, who have a combined total of 416. Yogi Berra and Dale Berra had a combined total of 407 home runs. Most ever by a father-son combination. The Bonds combination, another good pitch.
The pitch was so close that it fooled home plate umpire Jerry Davis. Watch the hesitation. When an umpire gives you a hesitation like that, then it fooled him too. So Frank Viola struck out Bell and Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire.
After the base hit by John Smiley, 2 strikeouts. And now Gary Redis about it. Gary 1 for 2, one of the 4 hits by the Pirates. A single to left field. Another perfect pitch right on that outside corner at the knees, strike 1.
You know, think about it. Think about how tough a home plate umpire's job really is. They don't know what's coming. They have tendencies. They move with catchers and what have you. They don't know what pitch is coming. So it makes sense that they'd be fooled occasionally also.
And the fastball fouled away, strike 2. I wonder how many umpires, or if they do, anticipate pitches like hitters do.
Oh, I would imagine a lot of them do. I bet if you ask Jerry Davis, he'd say he does. I would imagine a lot of guys
say
do.
the count now is 2 strikes. I think he'll waste a fastball high and inside, something like that.
Yeah.
And if he throws a curve, you're fooled. I think it'd be something you wouldn't want to try and do. And a ball call. 1-2. Pitchers allowed to blow on their hands, which is not allowed when the weather is warm enough. That's to guard against the possibility of a pitcher loading up the ball and throwing that awful spitball. And there's a swing and a miss, so after the leadoff pinch hit by Cangelosi, Viola strikes out Bonds, Bell, and Redis to end the inning. 1 hit, 1 left. The score at the end of 5.5 innings. The Mets 2 and the Pirates nothing. Now here's a word from
Monday's ball game worked 1 scoreless inning. I tell you, it's funny how things happen. Bob Patterson back in 1987, the opening day pitcher against Dwight Gooden. And here he is in relief. He has fought his way back to the big leagues. Bob Patterson in relief of John Smiley.
He was acquired for Marvell Wynn by the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Now pitching for the Pirates at batting 9th, number 38.
And he'll be working to Howard Johnson as his first batter.
Leading off for the Mets, third baseman
Patterson in his first inning of work opening day allowed 1 base hit. He hit Darryl Strawberry, gave up a hit to Kevin McReynolds, but then a strikeout double play to Mike Marshall. With the runners running, The big play in the game that stopped the Mets. They were trailing at the time 5-3, but a chance to get back in the ball game on that strikeout. And McReynolds thrown out at second by LaValliere.
Went for the trail runner, did Mike LaValliere.
Big play. Stopped the Mets cold from there on. And a half swing and strike one. Johnson 0 for 2 today. His only hit so far this year, a home run as he batted in the first inning opening day game. His 137th career home run. 1-1 the count to Howard Johnson, who had a great year last year for the Mets. 287, 36 home runs, 101 RBIs, 41 stolen bases. Swung through the fastball, 1-2. Nice hit into left center field. Over there is Van Slyke, and he puts it away. Since the Mets got 2 runs in the first, they've had only 1 hit, and that was a single by Strawberry in the third. Now Strawberry stepping in, 2 for 2. An RBI with a base hit in the first inning to give the Mets their second run. They lead 2-0 on the home run by Jefferies and the RBI by Strawberry. A strike call. Fouled out of play. 2 strikes to count.
Breaking ball away right here.
And it was, and the count 1-2.
He shook off the slider, and then he shook off the fastball inside. And then Tom Prince, the catcher, put down 2, so it was a curveball. I think when you hit a big, strong hitter like Strawberry with an inside fastball as he did on Monday, you're reluctant to come back with it. Here's that last pitch, the sequence. Now the curve misses.
And he gets him with the fastball. So Strawberry unhappy with that call by Jerry Davis, but back to the bench. Becomes a second out here in the 6th inning. The Mets leading 2-0, and Leland now going to the bullpen again as the right-handers come up for the Mets.
This is a manager working with an abundance of pitchers. Jim Leland playing this game. He's given his pitchers work, and it works out to be that the right-hander McReynolds is in there. So he is countering with Mike Ressler, the big right-hander for the Pirates.
So the right-hander coming in, and while we have the opportunity, here's
Pirates have seen Mike Ressler, but the rest of the National League saw him with Cincinnati last year.
And his first pitch hit the deep left field, way back. Bonds as far as he can go. It is out of here. Gone. Goodbye. So Mike Ressler, his first pitch is a Pittsburgh Pirate, and McReynolds takes him downtown.
Well, the strategy of Jim Leland trying to give his youngster some work, Mike Ressler, doesn't work for him. What do Pirates try to do? They try to rob people, right? In the middle centuries. That's what Barry Bonds tries to do with Kevin McReynolds' home run. Watch the leap.
And the next pitch that he throws, grounded to the shortstop, Jay Bell. The throw to first base retires Mike Marshall. And that will end the inning. But the home run by Kevin McReynolds, the dramatic home run, and the Mets lead the Pirates by a score of 3-0. Now here's a word from manufacturers Hanover.
Mets trying to hit the peaks today. They lead 3-0 to lead off the 7th. 4 hits for the Pirates. Frank Viola has been brilliant as Bobby Bonilla fouls one off. No balls, 1 strike to Bonilla, who has flied to right and struck out. 4 harmless singles off Frank Viola. He has struck out 6. He has walked nobody. Another one popped foul, so it's no balls, 2 strikes to Bonilla. Bobby Bonilla from the Bronx.
He really gives you the impression that he has fun when he's playing. And he does.
Foul back. Not nearly as proficient as a right-handed hitter. Batting only .226 last year against left-handed pitching. Three 3-0 Mets here in the 7th. Change is low, a ball and 2 strikes to Bobby. And that's the type of fun you're talking about right there. A big smile all the time.
He was fooled by the pitch. Fortunately, it was a ball, but he is laughing at himself.
Another change gets him. 4 straight strikeouts for Viola. 1 out here in the 7th.
The Nissan National League scoreboard. Montreal 3, St. Louis 2. Bottom of the 5th inning. Philly and Chicago snowed out. San Francisco later against Atlanta. Neither have played a game this year. Cincinnati against Houston tonight. And the Dodgers against the Padres tonight.
Jeff King now the batter. He's 0 for 2. He skies 1 to center. Viola keeping the Pirate hitters totally off stride. 2 outs here in the 7th inning.
And you wonder, Tim, how long he will go. It's the longest, obviously, that he has pitched this spring.
Yeah, you find yourself watching him pitch with one eye and the other eye on the bullpen. Nobody up for the Mets, however.
No one throwing in the bullpen for the Mets.
So Jeff King retired. Andy Van Slyke, who is 0 for 2, the batter. The middle 3 hitters, 4, 5, and 6, 0 for 8 against Viola. You can shut down the middle 3. The chances of winning go up dramatically as Van Slyke takes a slider for a strike. Little looper, Mike Marshall's going to handle it. 6 in a row retired by Frank Viola. He is totally in charge. And appropriately on our General Electric scoreboard, 3-0 Mets, and we'll be back.
Keep track of the Mets throughout the year with your official 1990 New York Mets calendar, available at Shea on New York Lottery Calendar Weekend. On Saturday and Sunday, April 21st and 22nd, when the Mets host the Expos, all fans will receive a 1990 Mets calendar with great action photos and important game information, courtesy of New York Lottery. Tickets are available at all Ticketron outlets, Shea Events ticket window, or call 718-507-TIXX for more information.
Also, kids, on your spring vacation, be sure to become part of the latest collector's craze, baseball player sticker albums. On Thursday, April 12th at 3:05 p.m., when the Mets host the Pirates, all fans 14 and under will receive a Panini baseball sticker album with a starter set of player stickers courtesy of Panini. Tickets are available at all Ticketron outlets, Shea Stadium's advanced ticket window, or you can call 718-507-TIXX for more information. And if you don't think that promo is not tough to read when you're from Memphis,
Panini.
you're wrong. Panini, yeah. Fanny packs and Panini, all right.
I haven't got my
Ball and no strikes to lines. And the curveball high from Mike Ressler is a ball, 2-0.
Things have come a long way from Jack Parr and his water closet.
Fly ball, shallow right. I think it's going to be in foul territory as Bonilla gets chase and makes a nice play. 1 out here in the 7th. Good play, Bobby Bonilla.
Shortstop,
Well, it's not easy to run on the turf out here. It's mighty wet, as you would probably figure out. He slips there, but recovers and makes a good play as he comes near that railing, and that's what makes it a tough problem.
Kevin Elster, the batter. Now Frank Viola's on deck, and a right-hander is warming for the Mets. It looks like Ron Darling. Darling scheduled to throw Saturday. No, I think he was moved back. He's moved back to Sunday because Gooden is starting on Saturday. So Darling, the Sunday starter in Montreal, may be the relief pitcher for Viola. As Elster fouls one back, a ball and 2 strikes with 1 out, and the Mets on top 3-0. You know, one thing you might consider is whether Darling can get ready quickly, since being a starting pitcher usually takes 15, 17 minutes to warm up.
He has only appeared 1 time in his major league career in relief, and that was a momentous deal.
Line foul, still a ball and 2 strikes to Elster.
That game started on July 4th and ended July 5th. It was in Atlanta, and he closed out the ball game.
That was with that dangerous Rick Camp on deck. The slider gets Elster, and we'll see about Frankie, whether he's going to hit for himself.
He is.
Yep.
Going to stay in the ball game.
Well, he may hit for himself, and then Davey may elect to take him out.
I don't know why you do that when you got a bench as full as the Mets have.
2 outs, nobody on, maybe.
Somebody give a chance for one of your regular players to get some time at the plate.
All right. So Darling is sitting down. So indeed, Frank Viola will work the 8th inning, or at least start the 8th inning. 0-1 to Viola. Meanwhile, Ted Power, the right-hander for the Pirates, is up and throwing. 3-0 New York. 0-2 to Viola. Little looper. Ball's not carrying to left, I don't guess. As Bell makes the play. After 7, it's 3-0 New York, and we're back after this from Nissan. Frankie Viola has been brilliant this afternoon. And I mean brilliant. Shades of his days at St. John's University. He has given up only 4 harmless singles, and they have been the only base runners for the Pirates. He takes a 3-0 lead into the 8th inning and faces Tom Prince, who is 1 for 2. Strike 1 to Prince. Inside, it misses. A ball and a strike to Prince. Change is low. 2 balls and a strike. There's Ron Darling. Ron was not just getting his throwing in out there. He was warming up hurriedly in case Elster got on. Maybe Davy Johnson would have used a pinch hitter for Viola. Change and a beauty. 2-2. Another changeup, lofted foul, still 2-2 to Prince. The Mets scored 2 in the first on a home run by Gregg Jefferies and an RBI single by Darryl Strawberry. The Mets scored their 3rd run in the 6th inning on Kevin McReynolds' first home run of the year. It's 3-0 New York. Curve, line to foul. Still 2-2 to Tom Prince. chasing. Lyons keeps it in front and throws him out. One away. Strikeout number 8 for Frank Viola.
Second baseman, Jose Lee.
Mets and the Pirates wrap up the series tomorrow, 3:05 game. Then they go to Montreal for 2-day games Friday and Saturday. And then a night game on Sunday. ESPN's doing that game as Jose Lean is the batter. He's 1 for 2. And then a Monday day game at Wrigley Field. Curve is low, 1-0 to Lean. Now that's because of the lockout. That game was rescheduled. If you do have a Mets scheduled, you'll find out that the Mets were scheduled to play the Cubs the second series of the season. We will be carrying that game on Monday, as this one is lined foul, 1-1 to Lean. Game time is 2:20. We'll be on the air at 2 o'clock. That is this Monday, April 16th. The Cubs and the Mets. We will have that for you right here on WWOR-TV. Game originally slated not to be covered by us, but because of the Yankee rainout the other day, we decided to cover it, and we will be there. Ralph and I will be on hand at 2 o'clock Monday from Wrigley Field in Chicago. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jose Lean. Change, grounded up the middle. Jefferies, tough play. I don't think had Marshall held on that they get Lean. It's going to be an infield hit for Jose, and we're going to have a pinch hitter for the pitcher, Mike Ressler.
Well, Jefferies comes up with it on the backhand side, has to throw while running. It's in the dirt. Lean has good speed getting down the line, and would have been awfully close if it had been held. That'll be a base hit.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Batting for the pitcher, Mike Ressler, will be.
I guess Mets fans have been waiting for this. Frank Viola pitching, and his old teammate and roommate warming up in the bullpen, John Franco, as R.J. Reynolds will be the batter. R.J. Reynolds, and there's John Franco. Closer supreme for the Cincinnati Reds for the last 4 years. Traded in the offseason for Randy Myers, and he was a teammate of Frank Viola at St. John's U. Tim Tuffle. Timmy, a new papa. Little girl born on Monday morning. His 3rd child. He missed the workout yesterday, spending some time with his wife, which is certainly understandable. R.J. Reynolds, the proud papa. He and his wife Yolanda, proud parents of twins, as a matter of fact. And he takes ball, make that a strike. 0-1 to R.J. Reynolds.
Better known as Shoes.
Owner of about 200 pairs of shoes. Missed outside. 1-1 to Shoes. Marshall behind leaned at first base. Low, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to R.J. Reynolds. 1 out. We're in the 8th inning. The Mets losing big on Monday, 12-3. But Viola in complete control this afternoon. It's 3-0 New York. Ground ball, right side. Marshall will take the sure one for the 2nd out as Lean advances to 2nd.
Mets leading by a score of 3-0, and wisely Marshall picks up the sure out. Would have been a very difficult throw to try and get the lead runner.
Davey Johnson going to John Franco. The crowd doesn't agree with Davey, but you can certainly understand. I mean, Viola is probably up around the 90 pitch limit, and his old buddy's going to have a chance to save it. Big round of applause for Frank Viola. He leaves the game leading 3-0 with Leaned at second. 2 outs. Masterful performance by Frank Viola. We'll be back to see how his old roomie does after this from Budweiser.
Frank outing, going 7 2/3 innings, and now his teammate from St. John's to try and preserve the victory for Frank Viola. Had a record of 4-8 for Cincinnati last year with 32 saves.
Inside, and it gets by Barry Lyons. So Leaned goes into third. That is the first time this afternoon that the Pirates have had a runner at third base. Leaned playfully sparring with Howard Johnson. 3-0.
Excuse me, it's being scored as a wild pitch. As you look at Franco's stats last year with the Cincinnati Reds, had a fine year.
And hope he has as fine a career with the Mets as he had with Cincinnati. 393 career relief appearances. Going over to the Reds back in 1983 for Rafael Landistore.
Dodgers owned him at one time.
Franco ranks 4th in career appearances for the Reds. Pedro Borbon, Clay Carroll, and Tom Hume, the only relievers ahead of him in Reds history. Fouled off, 1-1 to Bonds.
Viola, 89 pitches, 24 balls, 65 strikeouts. What a fine ratio. 8 strikeouts, his high in the major leagues, 11. He's done that several times.
One and 1 to Bonds. Fouled away. Ball and 2 strikes to Barry.
Franco's 132 saves over the past 4 years, second to Jeff Reardon, who has 139. Jeff experienced some back problems for the Boston Red Sox.
Nice play by Lyons. Oh boy, what a good play by Barry Lyons.
This ball, a tough pitch to handle. It's that little change-up or screwball type pitch down in the dirt, and Lyons quickly over to block it. He was right on top of it. Viola likes that.
2-2 to Barry Bonds. Leaned at third, 2 outs, 3-0 New York. Ground ball towards second. Jefferies over to Marshall. So Franco comes in to bail out his old teammate. And the Mets still lead 3-0, middle of the 8th, and we're back after this from your Cadillac dealers.
He comes in relief of Viola and gets Barry Bonds to ground to second base. Jefferies over on the outfield grass to make the play for the out that retires his side. And Frank Viola now leaves the ball game with no runs scored against his record so far this year.
And a new pitcher for the Pirates, the 4th Pirate pitcher of the afternoon, Ted Power. As Gregg Jefferies is the batter. Gregg 1 for 3 with a home run, and the fastball is high.
35-year-old Ted Power, 7-7 last year with an earned run average of 3.71, 21 walks, 43 strikeouts, 96 hits, 97 innings worked.
There's a strike, a ball, and a strike to Jefferies, who led off the game with his first home run of the year.
Power with St. Louis last season, signed as a free agent by the Pirates.
Low, ball 2, 2-1 to Gregg Jefferies. Only 16 behind Barry Bonds now. His 3rd time he led off the game with a home run. Two balls, 2 strikes to Gregg Jefferies with Keith Miller on deck. The Mets 3 and the Pirates nothing. 5 of the 6 runs scored by the Mets because of the long ball this year. The Mets have homered 4 times for 5 runs. Fouled away, still 2-2.
Another ball player that the Dodgers once had, Ted Power. Back in 1981, he was the only player in professional baseball to win 20 games.
Yeah, that was a strike-shortened season, of course. Backdoor slider is outside, 3-2 to Gregg Jefferies.
He was 18-3 at Albuquerque, and then he picked up a win in relief for the Dodgers after a win in the playoff game. So he had 20 victories that year in 1981, the strike year.
Fly ball shallow left, Bell out, but it's going to be Barry Bonds calling for it and catching it. 1 out here in the 8th inning, and Keith Miller the batter. Miller doubled, scored a run in the first. He's 1 for 3.
Center fielder
Jim Leyland and Gene Lamont. Hey, Jim Leyland, an excellent manager. Well respected. Realistic about this year. I mean, and about last year too, losing Van Slyke to injuries, Barry Bonds, Sid Green, yeah,
and Jim Gott.
Jim Gott, probably the killer for this staff. 28 saves the year before last. Jim Gott with the Los Angeles Dodgers now. 1-0 to Miller. Popped up in the infield. Second baseman Jose leaned, squeezes it. 2 outs here in the 8th, and the batter Howard Johnson.
Third baseman Howard Johnson.
Receiver Don Ossie, who pitched for the Mets last year, picked up a save already this year for the Dodgers.
In the first game. Don Ossie picked up a save the first game for the Mets last year.
In St. Louis right here.
Don Ossie and the Dodgers had a connection throughout the season last year. Billy Randolph's home run against the Mets, August 20th, really broke their bats. Or their backs.
Both ways.
0-1 to Johnson. Another change cued toward third. King throws out Johnson. So an easy inning for Ted Power. After 8 innings of play, it's the Mets 3 and the Pirates nothing. We go to the 9th after this from your Cadillac dealers. Vision rights granted by the New York Mets solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Mets and Sterling Doubleday Enterprises and WWOR-TV is prohibited. Any commercial or other use of the program, such as by charging admission for its showing, is similarly prohibited. Top of the 9th, Jay Bell takes strike 1 from John Franco. Bell 0 for 3 on the afternoon after going 3 for 6 Sunday. 3-0 New York. Change is outside. 1-1 to Jay Bell.
Paid crowd here today, 16,880. Total in the house, 17,422.
Good fastball on the outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes to Jay Bell. Franco trying to save it for Viola. Viola going 7 2/3, striking out 8, walking none. Still 1-2 to Bell.
Franco replacing Randy Myers as a stopper in the bullpen for the New York Mets.
Before the game the other day at Yankee Stadium on Sunday, I said, John, you're not familiar with these parts, right? John's from Brooklyn. Yeah. We were in the Bronx, of course. He said, I've been here 1 time before. And he gets Jay Bell for the first strikeout. Can you imagine the second time in Yankee Stadium growing up in New York? A real Mets fan growing up, and now he's pitching for them. Well, Frank Viola's stock, but if you have is up, and if you have stock in Wall Street, it's down. The Dow down 6.31. That's as of 3 o'clock, down 6.31. Standard & Poor's 500's index down 0.5 point. Gold's up $1 and no change in silver. Gary Reedus off the left leg of Franco, and he gets him. Good play, John Franco, 2 outs.
Well, this is strictly reaction. He gets hit by that ball and then recovers quickly and makes an outstanding throw as he has to leave his feet to get the ball to first base on time. And now they're going to check him out to see if he's all right.
You know, it looked like it hit the muscle part. Ralph, I don't think he would stand a chance of being as hurt as much from being hit by the ball as maybe a pulled hamstring or something like that.
Going after it. Here it is again. The ball hit sharply right back to him. It appears to hit him on the left thigh, maybe just near the knee, and if it hit the knee, of course, that wouldn't be too good.
John appears to be all right, so Gary Reedus is out of there. 3-0 New York. Mel Stottlemyre, after having his pitchers throttled on Monday, Pirates won 12-3. Obviously very happy so far today. Here's Bobby Bonillo for 3. Outside, ball 1. High, ball 2 to Bonilla. Outside, ball 3. You may see Bonilla take 2 pitches here with his team trailing 3-0. There's a strike, 3-1. John Franco, on the other hand, does not want to lose Bonilla via the walk route. And he didn't. So Bonilla earned it, singling to center, and he's at first with 2 outs. And the batter, Jeff King.
Third baseman, Jeff King.
Pirate hit number 6. The Mets have 6 hits, but 2 of the Mets hits were homers. The Pirates with 6 singles on the afternoon, as Jeff King, the third baseman, will be the batter. He's 0 for 3. Popped up, and that could do it. Lyons and Marshall converging, and it's Barry Lyons who makes the play, and John Franco saving it for his old teammate at St. John's. Franco's first save of the year for the Mets, and Frank Viola's first win. What a story. Franco going an inning and a third, striking out 1 and allowing 1 hit as Frank Viola, the winning pitcher. Brilliant performance today by Viola and John Franco as the Mets win their first game of the 1990 season, 3-0. I'll be back with some closing comments right after this from DHL Courier. Now the Mets win their first game of the 1990 season. A brilliant performance by Frank Viola. Frank Viola 5-5 for the Mets last year, and Frankie throwing 7 2/3 scoreless innings today, giving up 5 harmless singles by the Pittsburgh Pirates. And what a great story, John Franco coming in and saving it. All the scoring done by the Mets really in the first inning. Gregg Jefferies with a home run, his first of the season, and his first hit of the season. Darryl Strawberry with an RBI single. And then in the bottom of the 6th inning, greeting Mike Ressler was Kevin McReynolds, his first hit of the season, and it was a home run. So 4 Mets have homered, and all have been the first hit of the season. As the Mets win it 3-0. The totals on the game, 3-6-0 for the Mets, as Frank Viola is the Budweiser player of the game, and happily, Frank Viola winning his first game for the New York Mets in the 1990 season. We'll be back with some more of the wrap. Kiner's Corner to follow. Don't forget.
We only had 11 innings work in spring training, but they were quality innings. And, you know, I think it helped throwing the college kids before the lockout ended. So I felt real good out there today. Nice weather to pitch in, too.
Was good pitcher's weather, yeah, all the way around. And, of course, your fastball looked very good.
Yeah, that's me out there today. Last year I got away from my fastball a little bit, and I got hurt with my changeup and curveball, and then when I needed the fastball in situations, I just didn't have the pop on it. You know, this year I had an off-season to think about it, and this year I have to establish fastball to make my curve and changeup effective, and it worked well today.
Certainly did work well. 8 strikeouts in the ball game. Of course, your career high is 11 in any one game. Did that several times.
Right. I'm not an overpowering pitcher, but if I pitch smart, I'll get my strikeouts.
Well, you have to use your changeup and your curveball effectively. You got to establish the fastball.
Exactly.
That's certainly the answer.
And especially in a day like today, bust them in a couple of times, and their hands will start ringing, and then it'll give you the outside corner of the plate later on.
Let's take a look at some of the action in the ball game. Here's the top of the second. Andy Van Slyke, the batter.
Yeah, I threw a couple of fastballs to start him off, and I came back with the changeup down and had him off stride a little bit. Barry called a beautiful game today. You know, I didn't even shake him off hardly today, and that's how a pitcher and catcher have to work, and hopefully he'll continue the rest of the year.
And you didn't get much of a chance to work with Barry before, have you?
Well, a couple of times last year, but we're just getting to know each other. In spring training, I went out with them the 3 times I went out, and we worked on things, and today it worked great.
Let's take a look at another one. This is Bobby Bonilla. This is the top of the 4th inning.
I think this is another changeup. Yeah, another changeup. Most of my strikeouts, if I get my fastball over, most of the strikeouts will come on my changeup.
Top of the 5th, Andy Van Slyke, the batter once again, and Andy in the opening day game had 2 home runs.
This one Barry called 0-2 slider. Put it on the black pretty good.
You were on the black all day today.
Yeah,
Real
felt good.
Control. No walks in the ball game. Top of the 6th, Bonds, Bell, and Gary Reedus, the batters right here.
That was a fun inning. Leadoff man got on base, and that was a slow curveball, inside half. I think it was no 2 pitch.
Now here comes Jay Bell.
Yeah, that was a fastball. Fastball on the outside. Set him up with a fastball in.
And this is Gary Reedus.
Change up in the dirt. Had him fishing. It's a long way, though.
Really good mixture of pitches right there. The top of the 7th inning, Bonilla, the batter again. And, of course, these guys they had 17 hits opening day. I mean, you're not pitching to a bunch of little leaguers here.
Well, I think they used them all up.
Maybe they used them all up.
Hopefully it'll continue. The pattern will continue tomorrow.
And the top of the 8th inning, we have Tom Prince as the batter here.
Another changeup. Yeah, I had pretty good success with the changeup later on in the game because, as I said, the fastball established it early, and Barry went with it and worked out well.
You mentioned earlier in the program that this winter you thought a lot about it. Of course, you came to the Mets, real big change going from Minnesota to New York, and I'll never forget the game that you pitched when you and Hershiser hooked up. The only time it ever happened that 2 Cy Young Award winners from the past year hooked up in a pitching match, and you beat him in a terrific ball game.
Yeah, it was nice to start. You know, it was nice to save one of your best games for that game. You know, Hershiser is a class pitcher, class guy, and it was nice pitching against him, beating him. But last year as a whole was very frustrating. I really didn't pitch the way I'm capable of pitching. And then coming over to the new league, it was an adjustment trying to, you know, my strong points are learning the hitters in the league. So last year, the 2 months was basically a growing stage for me. But, you know, 1990, new year, new team. Well, looking forward to it.
And how about a John Franco in the bullpen like you had at St. John's?
It's great. 9 years later, we're back home playing for a hometown team, and you're going to see some great games out of him, too. And, you know, the whole team as a whole, we're pulling together, and that's key. And after that first game, I think it really made us come a little closer. And hopefully today we'll take off from here on out.
Frank Viola and Frank, thank you very much for coming on, and congratulations on a great start.
Thank you very much, Ralph.
And we'll be right back right after this message from Nat West Banks.